way up under the Highlands of Scotland, there was a village. And there wasn't anything peculiar about this village, except that it had not one, but two humpy-backed men. Great big humps on their back. They were the same in that regard, but oh, they were as different as night and day as far as their personalities were concerned. Why, one of them, oh, he had fine, dark, curly hair, you know, he had a fair, clean-shaven face. Oh, he was a fine, good-looking chap. Nice, kind, gentle, civil. But the other lad, the other humpy-backed man, they were as different as night and day. This guy, oh, he was mean and miserable. He was grouchy. He was, you know, you say hello on the street and he'd go, oh, go away, go away. And down the road he would go. Not a civil word in his head. And looks about him. Oh, he had a nose. What, if it was an inch longer, it would be ploughing a furrow in the ground, all humped over like this, and mean and miserable it was. Ugh. Well, the other chap, the good-looking one, he had set his heart upon the fairest young woman in the town. Oh, he was fair in love with her. But she wouldn't look at him, what with a great big hump on his back. And he was very depressed about this whole affair. And one day he decided to just bemoan his fate in life, and he walked up through the town, up through the heather, up to the hills, up to a great big hill overlooking the sea. And there he was going to sit down and just brood upon his fate in life. But when you got this great big hump on your back, you got to mind where you're sitting, you know. You can't just sit down anywhere. And he looked around, and sure enough, there was a wee knoll, a wee hump of grass, just made for the purpose it was. So he sits himself down, and he sits and he gazes out to sea. Now, he hadn't been sitting there very long at all when he heard this wee bit of a tune. Da 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 da, over and over and over again. And sure enough, it was coming out of the wee nillock. And he put his ear down, and sure enough, it was a wee song. And it went, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, over and over and over again. Well, you know, he was sitting there listening to it, and he wasn't thinking too clearly, so he began to sing along, you know. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and he got sort of carried away with it, you know, and it went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wow, there was a clap of thunder, there was a herd of smoke, and there, buzzing around him like a swarm of bees, was a whole bunch of wee people. They were the fairies. We call them the good people, because if they could do a nasty trick to you, sure enough they would. Anyways, here they are milling around, and the foremost man amongst them steps forward and says, "And what are you doing here, my man?" "Oh," says the humpy-backed man, "I'm sorry, I just was sitting down here looking out the sea, and I heard the wee bit of a tune, and I put a wee tale to it." "Och, my man," says the wee fairy, "have I a tale to tell you? My friends and I have been sitting beneath this hillock for 1,000 years, give or take a few hundred, and we had this wee bit of a tune, and we weren't awfully pleased with it, but it was all we had. And now, today, you come along and you put the finest wee tale to it. Oh, man, we're awfully pleased. Is there anything we can do for you?" "Oh, well," says the humpy man, "you see this hump on my back?" "Aye." "Well, I'd dearly love to get rid of it." "Stand up, my man," says the fairy. And he stood up for the first time in his entire life, and off slides the hump, and he turns around to thank the wee people. But they're all gone. Well, he doesn't waste any time. Down the hill he goes, through the hill, through the heather, through the street, along the road, off to see his sweetheart. But who should he meet along the road but the second humpy-backed man? And he sees him coming, and he grabs him by the shirt tails and he says, hey, hold on, where are you going? Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm off to see my sweetheart, I'm off to see my sweetheart." "Hey, aren't you the humpy-backed man, the same as myself?" "Oh, I was, but I'm no longer. I've got rid of my hump." Hey, wait a minute, how did you get rid of it?" Okay, he says, well, I was up on the hill there, and I sat down in a wee hillock, and I was gazing out the sea, and I heard a wee tune, and I put a wee tail to it, and the fairies, they were so pleased, they got rid of my hump, and I'm free of it now. I'm off. And down the road he sprints. Well, says the second Humpy-Backed Man, if they're getting rid of humps, I'm going up and getting my share. Up through the town he tromps, bracken through the heather up to the hill, and he sits down in the wee hillock, and he gazes out to sea. Now he has to wait a good long time, but then he hears it, the wee tune, and he puts his ear down, and sure enough, there it is. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, over and over and over again. Oh, I can do better than that in my sleep, says the Humpy-Backed Man. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, there's a clap of thunder, and there's a cloud of smoke, and there's the wee people swarming around him like a swarm of bees buzzing away, and the foremost man amongst them, he steps forward and he says to the Humpy-Backed Man, "And what are you doing here, my man?" "Oh," he said, "I was just sitting down here, and I heard the wee bit of a tune, and I thought I could improve it a bit, so I put a wee tail to it." "Oh, you did," says the wee fairy. "Have I a tale to tell ye? My friends and I have been sitting beneath this hillock for 1,000 years, give or take a few hundred, and we had a wee tune that we weren't awfully pleased with, but it was all we had. Until this morning, this fine young man comes along and he puts the finest wee tail to it. Och, we were off to please. And now, you come along and you put us as far back as we were forward. My man." Yes, says the Humpy-Backed Man. "You came up here with one hump on your back, but I happen to have another here. You'll go back with two." And up it goes onto his back, and over he goes, bent over double. And I tell you, his nose was ploughing a furrow in the ground when he returned to the town. And that'll teach you to keep your nose out of other people's business.
I like that one very much.